Your life is like a movie, and you're the main character. So why wouldn't you make it the greatest movie you've ever seen?
We all like a bit of a good life.
Hello beautiful people, I hope you're doing fine, I'm doing fine, so you should be doing fine. So in this wonderful video, well, I prefer to call it a movie, it sounds way more interesting. I'm going to be talking about magic, not just one type of magic, but 3 types of magic, and how each type of those magic deceive you. So please enjoy, and I hope you learned something. The global context I'll be referring to in this unit is personal culture expressions, so just sit back. When you hear the word history of magic, what do you think of? Do you think of pictures of broomsticks and witches with pointy hats? Do you think of tombstones? Do you think of magicians putting rabbits out of hats? Or potions being brewed up, bubbling? Well, actually, the term has its origins in ancient Greece, in the 1st century BC. The Greek concept of which magic is called in Greek magos was adapted into Latin and used by a number of ancient Roman writers. They were known as magos and magia, so that's where really the word magic, originated from. So the earliest known Latin use of the term was in a script called Virgil's Encloge, written around 2,000 years ago, which is pretty cool. So magic was, a very cultural thing that people got attached to, and and I think that's one reason that's one reason I'm talking about it today. I mean, it's come from so far. So for some people, magic is simply about expressing their feelings, like myself. I prefer to express my feelings by, playing with a deck of cards, for example. And others just like, performing magic to see the reactions on people's faces. So the magician snaps his fingers and a ball disappears right in front of your eyes. How is this possible, you ask yourself? You have a pretty good understanding of how objects behave. And from experience, the objects cannot simply disappear into thin air. Yet, this is exactly what you see. You see, magic is one of the, oldest art forms, ever since records began. Magicians have baffled and amazed their audiences while most of the tricks remain precious secrets. Scientists, have started studying magic to get insight on how and why we get deceived so easily. So magic allows you to experience the impossible. It creates a conflict between the things you think can happen and the things that you experience. While some magicians would like you to believe that they are real magical powers, that they possess real magical powers, the true secret behind magic lies, and many of these limitations are very counterintuitive, which is why we can experience such magical wonder of the impossible. How? Let's start with the basics. Vision, our first way we can deceive. So vision is our most trusted sense and influences many of our thoughts and actions, behaviors. In fact, vision is so important that we don't believe things until we see them. But it turns out that our visual experiences are not so reliable than we intuitively think. It's relatively easy to distort your perceptual experience, and these distortions become very apparent when we look at visual illusion. So visual illusion occur when there's a mismatch between your perceptual experience and the true state of the world. So in a very famous illusion called the Muller-Lyer illusion, it starts out by the top of the line appears shorter than the bottom, although they are exactly the same length. So what is most surprising about these two tricks I've just mentioned? Almost 2/3 of people, of witnesses to this trick, experience an illusionary ball being tossed up in the air and it disappearing as if it was a ghost ball. Because we see what we believe is going to happen rather than what is actually taking place. The illusion shows even when this belief is completely unfounded, that crop up as to how it is really done. Instead, people look for a confirmation that their own theory is correct. When the magician finally shows the solution is no such thing, spectacles are left even more baffled and bemused. The false solution is therefore not just a happy coincidence, it is used as a distraction from the real solution. Third and final way, research. And I don't mean primary or secondary research, I mean thinking. You see, tricks, the solution to tricks have nothing to do with thinking, because it's all an illusion. So research and problem solving shows that once we have one solution in mind, it is very difficult to consider alternatives. Something like the effect of name of a particular actor, and we get the wrong one stuck in our head. We know it's not Christian Bale, but we can't seem to get his name out of our head, and so we can't remember who it really was. Same thing with magic. There you have it. I hope you learned something. This year's personal project has been extraordinary. It's been a blast, and I will remember it for the rest of my life. Please leave comments and in the comment section, like and subscribe, and thank you to Miss Lisa for bearing with me, and I hope this educational video intrigues you, miss. Thank you.